When you set a boundary with others, do you end up feeling a bit selfish or guilty or mean? We've all been through that experience, right? But we know we need boundaries. The thing that I wish I would have understood sooner is that boundaries don't start with other people. They really start within you and within me. And that's why the playlist that I put together now, this Boundaries Without Guilt playlist, is really a journey that I hope to take you on. I want to start with the inner foundational stuff, the stuff where we're focusing on our own boundary confusion, because a lot of times that's where we're starting. And then we move through to finally feel that we have more boundary confidence. Okay, because the problem really is right now that there is so much narrative that says, well, just say no, or hold your ground. And while that sounds great and we think, okay, well, that's what I'm supposed to do. If you skip the inner work, if I skip the inner work, we're either going to keep people pleasing or we're going to build walls. It's going to shut people out because we'd rather not figure out how to hold healthy boundaries. And so we just say, okay, stay over there, right? So healthy boundaries do require a strong inner foundation first. And that is really what I hope to convey by showing you these videos in this series as a journey, from the first to the last. It is a journey that I've walked myself, and I want you to know the best way to get the most out of it. Start with the beginning video. You're going to see that the first one is about self-worth beyond labels. It's really talking about breaking free from old stories. You have to know yourself before you can speak about boundaries or anything else with anyone else. And then you're going to move on to stop overcompensating. And that episode is really about learning to set some more boundaries with yourself, where you really are understanding more and more what you've been doing, why you've been doing it, so that you can then determine what is the foundation for the boundaries that you will actually hold. Then we'll go into practical systems. I'll be sharing the STRAW method, which is just an acronym that I've made up based on the faith-based kind of approach that I took as I was trying to understand, what am I trying to achieve here? I just want to have a sense of balance. I want to come from a place of authenticity, but I'm struggling with these boundaries. So the STRAW method is something to help you hold boundaries without so much guilt and so much fear. And then you'll go into the 3 boundary skills video, where I'm talking about boundary skills to break emotional walls. Because in our relationships, because we didn't have the playbook to begin with, and we're just all figuring it out as we go, sometimes we have emotional walls already, and sometimes we are seeing them go up between us and our partner, and we need to break those quickly so that we can come back to a more open flow and realize what boundaries can play within that kind of scenario. You want to be able to learn, how do I keep my heart open, but at the same time to keep my self-respect strong. So then, and only then, should you move on to the final 3 videos. Those are about setting holiday boundaries, holding boundaries when family pressures you, and creating balanced holiday celebrations. I've chosen those themes because we are moving into the holidays, but no matter when you find this playlist, I hope that you understand the principles will still serve you if you'll go through those and understand how can you apply them in any situation where you feel like there's a lot of family pressures or there's a lot of multiple things that you have to juggle. Every video does build on the last, so don't miss the foundation stuff. Work through it so that the advanced steps will actually stick and you will feel like you're starting to build this boundaries confidence, okay? And just know that I used to be the queen of overcompensating, so I know what it feels like to say yes when you really ought to say no, to feel like you're responsible for everybody's feelings and then end up feeling resentful and exhausted, right? All I can tell you is that through this work that I've done for myself and that I've shared in these videos, my relationships are deeper, my energy is more free-flowing, more authentic, more wholehearted, and I do serve from a place of more wholeness and not so much depletion. So I hope you will commit to this journey with me, because it can transform relationships. It can help you to stop people-pleasing and to say no with less guilt. These things are possible because you will be grounded in listening to the leading of spirit, coming back home to your own balance first, and then moving forward from there. So let's do this together. You're going to be loving from a much better place of strength and not sacrifice as you build boundaries without guilt.